welcome to another episode of Altar Call MAFS. I'm your host, Tane, and MAFS is back, and I'm so excited that I actually get to talk about Married at First Sight. Season 19 has finally made it. It is on Peacock. It is a new look. It is a new format, and I'm excited to dive into this with you guys. I'm also excited because my guest today is the prodigal son, Aid. Hi, Aid. How are ya?
I'm good. That prodigal son title, though, that's a choice.
Oh, is it what? It does it not fit?
Like I was just here a couple days ago talking
it,
about another.
it wasn't maths. It was not maths. All right, welcome. I'm so happy to have you for this premiere, and I feel like I have to do an intro for any new listeners that are joining for the first time. For my returning listeners, hi, haven't forgotten about you. Welcome back. For new listeners, hi, I'm Tane. This podcast has been in existence for about 5 years. I started this with Aid, and we started in 2020, and we started exclusively just talking about Married at First Sight. But the breaks for MAFS started going longer and longer, so we started doing other shows, and I decided to go her own way sometime last year. And I've been doing this on my own for the last year and some, and having little guests and then doing shows other than MAFS. And basically, it's a reality show podcast. So if you're looking to hear recaps about shows on TLC and Married at First Sight, I'm your gal. I don't really do a lot of Bravo if you're looking for that. Used to do a little bit here and there, but there's a lot out there for Bravo. So welcome to the podcast. So how are you doing, Aid?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy actually to be back. Um, I realized that like last season of MAFS, I'm fairly certain I watched one episode.
The cheating didn't even get you back.
Well, that was the one episode I watched. Was the one where they were on the retreat together,
Oh, okay,
and the cheating kind of blew up. That was the one episode I watched.
okay, yeah.
Um, so I'm very happy to be back. I do encourage everybody to check out all of the stuff that Tane does when she's not doing maths. I greatly enjoy it and I listen. And I'm a Patreon. So yeah, you guys should go join the Patreon for bonus content because that's great stuff too.
Thank you. Great segue. So let me tell you guys that if you want more content, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/altacallmafs. And there are different tiers and you can pick whatever works for you. There is an ad to a tier. I said an ad. A tier where you can listen ad free. So those annoying little ads, you can just listen without the ads. There's a tier where you can get bonus episodes. There are documentaries. We talk about Sister Wives. We talk about 90 Day. And with this new season, now we don't have After Party anymore, but I'm going to be having like bonus episodes that I'm calling it like MAFS Extra. So it's my version of After Party where I'm going to be going over like whatever the episode was for that week, the bunch of episodes, and also providing updates on past MAFS participants. Which, as a reminder, if you're new here, I do have some interviews up from former MAFS participants who were talking about their time on the show and where they are now, and you can check that out. So, and there's also one last tier where you can get bonus episodes, early episodes, and also listen to it ad free. And if you just want to be a free member, you can do that. Free members get the challenge recaps every week for free, and you can participate in the chats as well. Like I mentioned, or like Aid mentioned, we just did an episode together, a bonus episode where we covered The Perfect Neighbor. So go check that out. One last housekeeping. I was a guest on Bitch is Better, where I share my thoughts on Salt Lake City and Potomac. So go check that out too if you want to hear my thoughts on those. Are you up to date on your housewives?
I have abandoned Orange County. I basically watched until they like kicked off Katie, and I was just
Yeah.
annoyed. I'm like, I'm not doing this, and I'm pretty loyal to Orange County, so
Yeah.
yeah. Salt Lake City, I am a little bit behind, but I am enjoying it, and of course, I watch Potomac the night that it airs.
I don't watch any of them live because I really hate ads. I really, really do. So I just wait till the next day and watch it on Peacock. All right. So the reason why we're here is MAFS. And how do you feel about this new, dare I call it, upgraded version that we have on Peacock? What are your few thoughts on that?
First off, I would like to congratulate Peacock. When I logged in to my Peacock, it was the first thing up there. So thanks, Peacock, for seeming like you actually want to support the show and want people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
For the show itself, I think that it's much, much better. I was actually confused as to how this was shot for Lifetime and seems to be this is a new show. It's a new show.
This is a pitch for editors. Like this is the magic that we do. So we I mentioned earlier we lost After Party, right? So I wondered what happens about the matchmaking special. I didn't have to wonder long. Those who've been listening to us for a long time, we had a thing where we didn't used to watch the matchmaking special, and some people would yell at us because we would miss stuff. But now they found a way, showing this whole time that we didn't really need the matchmaking special. They just find a way where we are seeing where the experts match the people. The only thing is, we only see the people who are actually matched. We don't need to see all the extra people who don't get to make it. And it makes the show move faster and better, as far as I'm concerned you know?
I also did not watch a single preview. So I had a
Mm.
lot of surprises in store for me when the show started. I was like, "Oh my god,
I
59 and
think
63?"
okay, yeah, I think they did mention, well, I confused whether they announced it or if MAFS fan, our trusted source, mentioned it to us that they were gonna have older people this year. Okay, so they do this thing where I don't like it when they do it in Love is Blind, where they do the preview for the season and they pretty much tell you a lot of what is gonna happen. And the one thing I caught was like Jalen is telling us already that we have a lot of unprotected sex. So are we just guessing that she's the one who gets pregnant?
I guessed, but then I was like, "Hopefully they faked us out."
That's what they did with Madison and David. And we're like, nah, it's too obvious. And it turned out that they were the ones the whole time who were with each other. Okay, we get a quick round robin of the 10 match singles being told that they've been matched. The Pascal tells us that they had 105,000 people apply. And honestly, I think I thought good for them that they still have that many people applying. I,
Right?
I don't, Brian talks a lot about people like going back to the old format, when they used to be in the ballrooms and people just coming in there and applying instead of reaching out on Instagram and LinkedIn. So I wanted a breakdown of this 105,000 people. Like, how did we get them? Where did they come from?
And were all the people picked from that 105,000 who applied?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dr. Pepper throws out some stats. She's like, oh, all through the season, 11 couples are still together. We have 13 beautiful babies. And I'm like, that sounds great. But one, you know how when people are a couple and they're like, between both of us, we have 18 years of education and it's one person who got their master's and it's only one person. Jamie has four of those babies. So, I mean, which is good. But then you realize that of 18 seasons where we have like five couples each for some, we only have 11. Is that a good stat?
I think that's a great stat. I think that's a great stat. Um, people have lost their minds about Love is Blind talking every year actually people say it should be canceled because
Yeah.
of the reasons. And it's like this show has a decent success rate.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if Dr. Pepper included Camille and Thomas because this was filmed over a year ago. So it might be 12.
Thank you. Like, no, I think Married at First Sight, I think it has a decent track record.
Okay. I didn't get to count how many couples they've had all in total to think that 11 still stands. I wonder what the percentile of that is. But at first glance, I was like, it could be better. Could be better. So yeah. So we got the condensed version and we see all the experts in a round table just talking about all the people that they're gonna match. And the Dr. Pepper is so happy because she thinks Maths and Austin are going to be a good mix. I wanted to be like, why do you think that? What makes
It-
Austin different?
exactly.
It's gonna be the same thing. So we're gonna go couple by couple, and we're starting with Jalen and Josh. Jalen is 27. She's a hopeless romantic. Her standard is based on rom coms and reality TV.
At least she's honest.
You know, honesty would take you far, but it's just a little worry. I remember during Jeff T's season, I think he said the same thing, that his standard for marriages was just what he watched on sitcoms. But I feel like we're in different times now, and there's so much more. And then if it's reality TV, the first thing I think of is like Love is Blind. I'm like, please don't make that your standard. Like the people in reality TV are usually here for clout. So, you know. She says that she wants kids by 30. She wants a fairy tale ending. And is it maths if we don't get the people doing some kind of exercise? Of course not. So hers is running. She's running down the street. Her match is Josh. Josh is 31. He tells us that he's the type of person to cry at a wedding. He's very affectionate. And his form of exercise is he is walking his two dogs. One good thing, not one, there's so many, but another good thing about this is that we don't have to watch these people tell their family members that I'm getting married in 2 weeks.
I appreciate that.
I do too. Like I'm so happy. I feel like this is our reward for sticking through Lifetime 2 hours every Wednesday for how many years. And now they just shaved all these things to show that we don't even need it. So he tells his grandma that he's getting married, and then we see them sitting with the experts and they're describing what they want. And Josh is wearing some weird necklace that I really want to know what the background or the history of that necklace is. Did you notice that?
I did not notice the necklace at all.
So he tells us that he loves EDM music and he loves to dance. And his physical preference is he prefers thin and smaller women. And at the same time that he says that, we see Jalen say, "Yeah, I'm fine with a little dad bod." And I'm like, isn't this life, men and women?
This is this is what I always have said though. Um about the women are much more forgiving when it comes to appearance than men are.
Yeah, yeah,
But I appreciated him. I'm just like, go ahead and say it so that
yeah.
we can always roll tape. If they
Yeah.
give you some curvy girl, you can be like, but I told you I wanted thin.
Yeah. What I wish though was that they kept that consistent and we heard everyone say what their type was. I just think it makes for a fun watch when you tell me what you want and we see like if that's what you got or if that's what you didn't get, then we can have an idea as to what your mindset was. But I think they were the only ones who kind of mentioned what they wanted physically. So he shares about his childhood and he says that his mom was in prison till he was 16. He was raised by his grandparents and he came from a poor background and he just grew not to trust his mom because I think she kind of disappointed him over the years. He says he wasn't looking for his dad, but he took a DNA test. My question was, so what was he trying to do when he took the DNA test if he wasn't looking for his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. And his dad's sister came back as a close match and he got connected with his dad and he just met his dad for the first time and his dad didn't even know he existed. We don't know how long ago this was. It seems recent, but we don't know what is recent. 3 months, 6 months, a year. But a little radar went in my head. I'm like, okay, so was Josh cast for his story or because they truly thought that he was ready for marriage?
The story, you never know. You never know. I don't trust these people. They will be
Yeah.
like, we really like you. We're going to cast you, whether you should be here or not, just because we really like you. So
Mhm.
it could be anything.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. It was giving story for me because that is a pretty unique story. Maybe not unique, but it's like an interesting story. Like not everybody has that kind of story. So we find out that Jalen is a twin. Her dad played pro baseball. Her parents were high school sweethearts, but they were never in love. And they were just staying in there for the kids and they split after college. Josh had mentioned that he was from a poor background, but he got the moolah because he has his own roofing company. And in 3 years, he made $500,000. So I guess he's rich. He's a
he
rich
sounds
guy.
very well, I'm sorry. There's a term for him. Because he's only been making that income for a short amount of time. So
Uh-huh.
typically we would call that a high earner, not yet rich.
Wow. I've never heard that. I thought you were about to say new money. Okay. Jalen is a realtor because everybody's a realtor these days and a cycle instructor. And then before I could blink aid, yet another positive, I'm seeing wedding number one flash across my screen. I'm like, what? what is this new life? It's like being upgraded. Like your hotel room went from garden view to like seaside view. And I'm like, I check my time. We are 10 minutes in, 10 minutes, and we have a wedding. We do not have to see them wedding shop. We don't have to see tuxes. We don't, oh, this is amazing. So I could almost cry. So we skip all of that, and his groomsmen come in. All of a sudden, they're all in the hotel room. I don't know how they have similar matching shirts. I don't know if that was on purpose or they just have the same style. And he says that he did not invite his mom because he's not with where she is right now. I don't know what that means. And he doesn't want to bring her around the family or his kids that don't exist yet, even though he told Pascal that his dad texts him every morning, like, hey, have a good day, good morning. He says he just doesn't know his dad well enough to have him there. So, from the outside looking in, right, it's already an unusual circumstance, like getting married at first sight. There are cameras and you're being recorded in a TV show. I feel like if he's just decent with his dad, I don't see the harm in just having him there. If they get closer after this, cool. If they fall out, I mean, so be it. But on the flip side, I mean, as someone who's familiar with complicated, parental relationships, I'm sure he has his own reasons and he knows what's better for him to do with what he's comfortable with. But I just thought it was interesting because he told Pascal like they're good.
I think there's a big difference between I think he said at one point he met his dad a few months ago. Like he met
Okay.
his dad within the past 12 months.
Okay. I didn't have a time period at all, so I didn't know. I wasn't sure. And I was just like, I mean, if it's there, I
And I
mean,
totally understand his decision to not, just cuz he is his dad according to DNA, and he is wanting to have a relationship, and he is, putting in the effort.
mhm.
That doesn't mean that you need to be there for, like, my wedding that I'm marrying a stranger.
Completely understand. I think I'm thinking like a wedding, maybe unless he's planned to have another wedding, it's going to be something that might not happen again, a once in a lifetime thing. So if you do become close, at least he was there. But also, I mean, it's trivial. It doesn't matter. It's his choice, anyways. So Jalen shared about having an ex who she thought was the love of her life, and she left him and then started dating someone. And while she was dating that one who cheated on her, she found out that the ex that she thought was the love of her life passed away. It seemed to come from nowhere, but I shelved it in my memory bank because I feel like this is going to come up again sometime during the show. Did you
Mhm.
feel that way? Okay, yeah.
'Cause
Because I'm
it was
like,
everything about that story, the timing, everything. I was like, "I don't get it. Why are we talking
yeah,
about this right now?"
exactly.
But you know
So,
what? If
oh,
MAFS is true to form, we might never hear anything about that again. I'm
that
not, I'm
is
not
true too.
willing to say that we are definitely gonna hear this again. I'm not willing to go there. That might be the one and only time we hear about it.
That's true. The only other time this happened was Jacqueline in Boston. I think she had an ex that passed away, and they just kept bringing it up all the time. Like, oh, do you think you're like this because this happened? And I'm like, okay, yeah,
Her
but we'll see.
fiance had passed away while they were still, they were engaged.
Yeah,
And it had been a while, but it hadn't been that long.
yeah, but we'll see. I mean, again, like you always say, we'll see. Time will tell if this will play a part. Her friends are supportive, like the way it should always be, and tell her like everything is going to be perfect. He gets a gift from her, and it's a pom pom with pickleball paddles and a ball. Josh gets really emotional, and I'm just like, did you send her a gift? Like, where's your gift to her? Because we didn't see it. I don't know. Is it editing or you forgot? One of the friends that was there, his favorite part about the entire note, which was emotional, was just the fact that she said, "Let's fucking go." He's like, that really got me. I'm like, okay, cool.
Maybe
Josh,
it means something to him. I don't know.
I mean, maybe, oh, you got a girl that curses. I don't, yeah, just, yeah, that was it.
Maybe it's a phrase they use in their family all the time. So they're like, oh my gosh, like she's in it already.
We're just here speculating. So Josh likes her, like the way that she's talking about them being a team and being his biggest cheerleader. And we switch over to her, and she comes out in her wedding dress, and her dress looks like Allie's dress from Love is Blind. The split, the sweetheart cut and things, but she looks good and she looks nice. And he comes right out. He has a moment with his grandma. Another thing we don't get anybody like freaking out. Like they spend like 20 minutes of someone just, oh my God, what am I doing? We get none of that. Everyone just stands in position and does what they're supposed to do. Jalen's mom comes in and talks to her, and all I'm thinking is like, wow, Jalen's mama is a hottie. Like she's so pretty, and I like her dress. And her grandma is there, and I'm only mentioning that because I'm always still in awe of people who still have their grandparents. And this is like on both sides. He has his grandparents, and she has her grandparents, so they're all present for the wedding. What a blessing.
I assumed that his grandfather was deceased, or was he there and I missed it?
Um, this is possible, but I think I meant like his one grandparent. They both
His,
have at least a grandparent. Is
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean.
His
Yeah,
grandma
yeah,
was
yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because she raised him on there. So it's about time, and it's time for the wedding to happen. But I will take a quick break and come down and talk about that. Listen, I know you think this might be too early to talk about, but the holidays sneak up on you fast, and it's not too early to get your shopping done and actually have fun with it. Uncommon Goods makes holiday shopping stress free and joyful, with thousands of one of a kind gifts you can't find anywhere else. Uncommon Goods has products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the United States, where you can find gifts like ice cream flavored lickable bubbles for kids, trivia games for the trivia lovers in your lives, or for the grillers in your life, an entire periodic table of flavor rubs. As if that isn't incentive enough, every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million dollars to date. So shop early, have fun, and cross some names off your list today. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/altarcall MAFS. That's uncommongoods.com/altarcall MAFS for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. All right. So she comes down the aisle, and I look at Josh, and Josh is very pleased. But the one thing I noticed is that Jalen did not wear a veil.
Oh, see, I missed that.
Yeah. And I'm like, good for you. So they do all the things. One thing we lose in the Peacock version is we don't have the introduction from the friends and family. You hated those, right?
I could do without it, so therefore I did not miss it.
I kind of like it just to see what they're going to say, but most of them always took the piss with that and didn't say like flattering things, and they'll say inappropriate things, but we don't get that anymore. So we go straight into the vows, and they go ahead and they kiss, and just like that, guys, we have our first MAFS Peacock wedding. Yay! Throw confetti. So they have their champagne sit down, and he just starts dropping stuff about his dad and how he's not here and he just met him. And she's like, "Oh, so now I have another father-in-law." And I feel like in his mind, he's like, "Okay, slow your rolls. I didn't even invite him to the wedding, so let's get there first."
And I
Uh,
do believe, like, he did dump a lot, but he didn't dump it without context. The only reason he started saying that was because of the twin thing. Because he's like, I didn't know I had twins in my family, but I just found my dad and he has twins. So there's twins on both sides of our family, which is a little bit crazy. I don't think he would have said all that if it wasn't for the twin thing.
This is true, but I'm glad you mentioned that because that confused me. Because when he was up on the altar and they looked at the brother, they were like, "Don't worry, she's cute." Then they said, "Oh, that's the brother." It's like, "Yeah, my brother-in-law," and she's like, "Oh, they're twins." And then he goes, "Oh, I don't have twins in my fam. Twins don't run in my family." Now they do. And then 5 seconds later, they're talking about it. And he's like, "Oh, my dad has twins." I'm like, "What?"
But, like, that's the other thing about meeting your dad when you're this age. Probably your whole life, you've never had twins in your family. Then you meet your dad and he has twins, but he's not your family. He's just this guy you just met.
But
Like,
you have DNA.
I totally understand that in the moment you would say, "I don't have twins in my family," and then you would recall, "Oh wait, my dad does have twins. Oh, I guess I do." Like, I don't know. It was a high stress moment, so I don't think too much about it, to be honest.
Not to nitpick, but I think there's a difference between I don't have twins in my family and twins don't run in my family because they kind of do in your DNA. So unless he forgot,
I think
but
he forgot. I think in the moment he forgot.
okay, that's fair. But that was the only thing that got me. Was like, huh, okay. So she loves what she sees. She thinks that he's cute. He does too, and they are off to a good start. There is nothing that warms my heart than two people who find themselves attractive when they meet at the altar. because that happens every day. Um, I don't know what they are dancing to. This is at their first dance, their first reception. On TV shows, licensing, we don't get to hear the actual music. But we are reminded that MAFS got an upgrade because the music they have chosen to play over it is Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran would never make his way on Lifetime, okay? So so we're rich now. so so they're dancing and talking over that. They talk about their last names. He asks, "What's your last name?" She says hers is Garcia and his is Black. And then, as tradition serves, we get our first clinking glass at the wedding. And this season, they know what it means, and then they kiss. I'm like, come on, guys, let's go. Wait, let's fucking go. Let me say like the guy. So they have this weird um consummation conversation. I thought we were going to drop that, but that's not going anywhere, is it? Where someone's asking, "Oh, what are you going to do tonight?" And she's like, "I guess we'll find out." I did not like that when they cut the cake, they did the smashing of the cake on their face. Boo. I don't like that.
I don't like it, but look, these two were having a good themselves a good old time.
They
So
were.
I'm just like, if you like it, I love it.
I think the thing too about, should I say MAFS or kinetic, is the one thing when you talk to all the MAFS participants, they do say that their wedding is fun. They always have a great time at their wedding. So I love that for them because when all goes to hell, they will always have that memory.
We had one nice party.
He meets the parents. It's her mom and her dad who are divorced and her twin brother, and he's talking to them and everything is going well. They're saying like just communicate, and his her dad is like, "I wish I communicated better in my marriage," with his ex-wife standing right there. I'm like, "Go good for you, accountability." And Jalen comes over while they're talking. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't, have we had this before on MASH? This is strange. And then she goes further and then she tells them and is like, "Yeah, I'd like to talk to him, which is him and mom by myself. You guys go away." I'm like, what is happening? And then she was like, so her mom is like, "I'm getting married tomorrow and I want to invite you to the wedding." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then she's like, "Oh, she's also getting married at first sight as well." And his jaw drops and mine drops as well because I feel like I knew, but I was like still surprised. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know it was her
I had
specifically."
no earthly clue. And while you said, well, when we first saw her mom, first I was like, dang, she looks so young. But my second thought was, why aren't her roots done? And then I really was just staring at her roots. I'm like, what is going on here? And I'm thinking to myself, at this point, I'm shocked that she's gonna get married at first sight tomorrow. My jaw is on the floor. And then I'm like, so maybe she's saving to get her roots done right before her wedding tomorrow morning. But that seems risky. Anyways,
Now I have to look at that. I didn't notice. She was just gray, wasn't she? Wasn't she like salt and pepper?
at the top, at the bottom,
Okay.
her hair was colored.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. I thought it was all the way down. But yeah, that is I don't know what to make of that. I can't wait to see how this came about, whose idea this was. Hey, let's just do it together. And then I can't wait to find that out because they're the only wedding. Wait, do we have 6 couples this year?
We have five.
We have 5. Oh, yeah, they said 10. So they're the only weddings that we haven't seen is her
Correct.
mom's wedding. Yes, that we
Hmm.
haven't seen yet. So they're saving that. So I don't know if that was it a last minute addition? Like, how did that come about? I'm looking forward to seeing that. But Josh is just like so surprised and was like, "Oh, now I have a father in law and a father in law and another one and all this happening." But either way, it's fun. It's something exciting because if they're trying to refresh maps, this is a good way to do it. So I'm looking forward to that. Nothing much left for them when they go into bed. They just jump into bed and they make out in bed, and that was it for them. For me, but I am going to ask you for each couple, what are your first impressions of Jalen and Josh?
The whole time I was like, you're doing it again. They just made me really happy. They really
Mm-hmm.
liked each other. I don't know. In this first blush, I just kind of like them as people so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have good positive energy.
Yeah.
he has the type of story where I'm just like, I only want good things for you. It feels like you've had enough bad for a lifetime. So I think you deserve some good things. I want this to be a good thing for you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they're both very positive people. Um, and when I compare them to the other couples, right now, they are my favorite.
Yes. Dang it, we have the same favorite. But I prefer Jalen. So my first impression is I really, really like Jalen. I just love her disposition and her personality. But he worries me. I don't have anything tangible. There's something rigid about him. I don't think he was in the military, but he gives me military vibes where someone's so regimented and so structured that I'm like, is this going to play out later? And that's my only worry. But I would be so happy if I'm completely wrong. That's my first impression of them.
I think that they both are there's no way that I'm going to tell the experts, "Oh, how could you screw this up?" I'll save that for later. I'm sure it'll come. But for right now, I'm like this seems to be a good work by the experts.
Yeah. Okay. Before I move on to Brittany and Will, I just had a flashbulb that I did not let everyone know that this is episode 1 and 2 together. But again, stay subscribed. So there's gonna be some episodes bundled together and some just individually, but there's gonna be a lot of fun guests doing this recaps together. Just wanted to get that out there. Okay, so the next couple is Brittany and Will. If anyone watched the sneak peek, did you watch the sneak peek at all?
No, no.
Okay. Brittany and Will was who was featured on there, which was a choice. I don't know why they chose them, but it wasn't exactly like the most riveting thing. And she has a house. They started with that, and she has financial stability. And then they said he's at a point in his life where this is his next step. And I'm like, oh my God, what does that mean? We know what they do to when they say that, and I'm like, when we have to use many words and things are vague, what does that mean for Brittany? So how did you interpret that actually?
I just didn't understand how what they were saying compared to having it was equivalent to having a house. I didn't know what having a house has to do with you getting being ready for marriage. Um, I
I was just concerned, like, are they saying that he's not stable and his next step is achieving financial stability,
his
or
next
his
step
next
is
step was marriage? I don't
his
know.
his next step is I didn't understand why his next step in life was marriage. Is it because he said so? Is it because he came to the audition? Like, where did we get the idea that his next step in life was marriage from a characteristic opposed to a desire?
And also, why didn't they say both of them have a house or both of them have financial stability? I just, okay.
Because that was a thing. They didn't say that because it's not true.
We're so scarred. So we're just worried.
He appears
So,
to have a well-paying job, but it's like
yeah.
based on the title, not anything else.
Yes, it is. I think, again, that's the thing is like, why are you, there's so many layers to this, but why are you leading, for her, you're leading with the house and stability, and then for him, you're not. Like, it's just, I don't know. All this will play out. We'll find out. She's 29, he's 30, and she's describing just who she is. She likes to read. She wants to be a contestant on Jeopardy. She's fine with someone being more experienced than she is. And Dr. P is like, what do you mean? You mean like sexually? Because honestly, she said that. And I'm like, experienced in what? Tech sales? I like, you have to be specific on what you mean. And they're going back and forth on her and Will talking to the experts. And he's like, I mean, I've used toys on my exes before. I'm like, okay. So basically, they seem to align on all the things and their values. And then Dr. Pierre is talking with the other experts and says they are sapiosexuals, which I rolled my eyes because there was a period of time in Twitter where that terminology was destroyed. Everyone used it correctly, incorrectly. It was just used too much. Even the not so smart people thought they were sapiosexual. So it was just, I was like,
Yeah.
please, please, I don't. Mm-mm. But Will says he's talking to his people. They've moved on. It's time for the wedding. They're in the hotel room. And Will is like, I've dated women that I found extremely attractive, and I've dated women where I appreciated their mind more. And I'm still trying to make sense of that when his groomsmen just start laughing and they're like, okay, that was smooth. That was a very that was a very nice way of saying what you're really trying to say. And I was like, you know what? Yes. um Will, to his boys, I think you would agree with me that, as far as I'm concerned, he is using words that I think are regular. Verbose is not a big word. Litany is not a big word, but his boys seem to think that those are big words.
Which did you, are y'all really friends? Did you just meet? Why is him
Yeah.
using they're not big words. They're not words that there are words that I would expect someone who I was speaking to understand.
Yeah.
But would I be that surprised if they didn't? Not really.
I mean, maybe they were just giving him a hard time. Like maybe it's a running joke. We have a mutual friend who does that, and we always and so I think we stop. So
Why do
I
you do that?
I don't know. I don't know why I did that. Sorry guys. We're back on track. And so his first her first relationship was over 10 years ago. And since then, she says she has not made it past the 3-month mark. I didn't know what to make of this. I was like, should we be worried? Should we not? Because clearly this is not relationships. These are situationships. If you're saying you didn't make it past the 3-month mark, in my head, it was almost like there was a ticker. Like, okay, new relationship, day 30, day 60, day 90, and then day 91, they break up with her.
No, yeah,
So
but I wouldn't call those situationships. If she went into it wanting something long term and then it didn't work out, that doesn't make it a situationship.
she didn't say they were okay. In my head, I just had it as situationships, but that makes sense. But Deanna comes to mind because in my mind, when I was thinking that they were situationships, I was like, it was like Deanna who had not dated for 10 years and came into this experiment. So we're not going to disqualify her. We don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know if this was intentional, but for Britney's hair and makeup, we did not see any of the hair and makeup people. They were like cut off, like from their neck up, from their head, that they didn't say anything. But for everyone else, I was like, maybe this is a choice. But everyone else, we got to see their hair and makeup people. They even got to ask questions.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because you remember that lady, what season was it? Who even had the name of her business on the cape and she was doing promo on there and everything. Maybe she ruined it for everybody else. So I don't know. But they randomly mentioned, and I think maybe this was an edit flaw because from nowhere, I think her mom is like, I know Ebony is looking down at you. And I'm like, we're not going to know who Ebony is. But we eventually find out that Ebony is her sister that died from COVID in 2020. And this is where it hit me that we didn't get a bunch of background on them. Because coming from seeing Jalen and Josh, and we got a whole thing about his family, we didn't get that for Brittany and Will.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Not
I
even
feel like we
exercise
got more
shots.
I feel like we got more of their relationship history than their life history.
Yeah, but I'm offended because we didn't even get exercise shots. We didn't see
Oh,
nobody lift weights. We didn't see nobody runs in slow mo. That's not fair. So,
sorry about that. I will say I forgot to mention this. It's very irrelevant. Jalen, the cycle studio that she works at is Cycle Bar, which is where I used to go until mine closed, and a lot of them are closing. So my first thought was, I wonder if her Cycle Bar is even still open.
no, it was a year ago. So,
So many Cycle Bars have closed in the past
oh.
year, so I'm just like, wonder if hers is open. Anyway,
um, Will meets his mom and they're hugging and he's crying and she gets a bunch of makeup on his suit, which
ah,
never goes away. He gets married with that stain all through, and it's
d-
all I
uh,
can focus on
oh,
all through the entire reception, vows, all of the things. I was like, no one could get it tied and get it
it,
out for him.
it bothered me so much. I was just like, Tide setting spray. There were so many ways this could have been avoided.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't like even like foundation. It was freaking lipstick,
It
red.
was. It was. It was right there on his shoulder. I spoke about this in my sneak peek, but because I did a little summary of that 7 minutes, but they do like what they see when Will walks down the aisle. somebody in there says Jesus, and they almost said it like a Nigerian. That I was like, "What is somebody in there?" Um, but he's smiling, and then when she walks down the aisle, she's smiling as well. And they do the vows, and then before they say you can kiss, he just hugs her. I don't know why, but he asks her, "Can I kiss you?" She goes, "It's fine," and then they kiss, and I'm like, "Yay, 2 for 2." And also I noticed we had so far 2 women officiants so far for both weddings. And she's doing her flyaways, and I noticed that her tape is showing. Once again, someone should have taken the stain off of Will, but someone should have helped her out with, I don't know if it was boob tape, but it was on the inside of her dress and just there, and it was just showing on there. And they should have either edited it or taken that out for her. They have their champagne chat, and we find out that he's a tech consultant and she is HR for a tech company. And everything seems to go okay, but I
You
don't
call
know about
that
you.
okay? You call
Well,
that okay?
it was awkward.
It was such a shock to the system after watching Jalen, and
Yeah.
it was really difficult to watch them be so
Okay.
freaking awkward.
Okay. Okay. I was trying to be nice. I was like, it was okay, but it was just a lot of like everyone was tense. No one was like relaxed. And I'm like, what is happening with these two? Because they do like what they see. So what is, or did they not like what they see? Is that what the problem is?
I don't. I wasn't really sure. If you ask me, are those two attracted to each other? I couldn't tell you, and especially in that moment, it was so awkward.
He
It was
said,
almost like they didn't have things to say, and I'm like, you guys just met. You should have plenty to say.
yeah, they should. And this is the reason why I say I want to know what they want physically. Because if Will is saying, like, oh, I want someone who's curvy, or I want someone who isn't, or if Brittany is saying, I want a chocolate man, I don't want anyone who's light skinned, like, then I could have an idea of, okay, I'm adjusting to this is not what I asked for, but we don't know. So we don't know what to go by if that is a problem. Because his mouth is saying that he's attracted to her dimples, and she looks good, but they do that every year, and then you find out later that, oh, I'm really not. So they move on to the reception, and the chat is still awkward. She asks him what he's looking forward to the most when they get to the room, and he's like sleeping. And she says, same. She's like, same.
I feel like she
Then
was just going with it. I was like,
she was trying.
he is. I want to put some of the blame his way. Like,
Yeah.
he is a socially awkward human being. I was like, I feel like we're about to have another round of diagnosing the black man from just watching TV.
Oh,
Because because I do not understand how, if someone says, "Are you looking forward to tonight?" and you were on Married at First Sight, that is your opportunity to express attraction. That should be your only option. What the hell are you talking about? I want to go to sleep.
I mean, he did in a confessional, not to her face, where he's like, I have no expectations. I want to say, I want to sit up and talk and get to know you, but I'm pretty tired. And then he said something weird. He's like, we have to talk about if we're going to share a bed. And I hope she wants to share a bed. And I was like, I think I wrote, his energy is just flat.
His
What do
what
you
his mouth
mean?
is saying is not matching his tone.
Yes. But why would you talk about sharing a bed? Like, this is not Alyssa. Yeah. So when they're talking again with the awkward conversation, she does share because she said her mom is getting emotional, and then she shares with him about her sister's death. And then he just blurts out that he's a neat freak. And I'm like, oh,
He says,
okay.
"My sister made me a neat freak." So he was connecting the dead sister to his sister, forming his character. Once again, very awkward.
Uh, okay. That
Did you
and
catch
then
that?
I did. It doesn't flow.
No, it doesn't.
Someone expresses that, you'd be like, oh, hope you're okay. Like, you it's something else, but not, my sister gave me
I
something. Made me a
I
neat freak. I'm
the
not that
funny
bad, but
the funniest thing about watching him is, I sort of like, first off, I would really like to meet him and talk to him. I think it would be a good time. But it's like I could see sort of where his mind works, but I'm like, if you have any like social training, that's not what you should say.
he's just, at at the altar, I was like, he's nervous. But now we have gone into the chats. You know what? We didn't have also pictures.
Oh, yeah, you're noticing so much stuff that clearly wasn't that important because I didn't miss it.
So, those are the things that kind of like ease you in, but it's still going, the wedding is going on, and we are still awkward. So it gets weirder because then she says that she doesn't sleep with sheets. And I don't know, maybe you have a better understanding, and maybe I just didn't understand what she was saying.
I think she was saying she doesn't sleep with sheets.
The bare mattress is better than she. Okay.
I don't know. And then I didn't understand, did she mean the sheets in a hotel? But it was hilarious because I was like, this, I guess this is why they were matched, because his response was acting like what she said was made perfect sense and he's the same.
I'm just on your wedding day. Mommy, daddy, what did you talk about? Well, Auntie made me a neat freak, and Mama said she doesn't sleep with sheets. I don't know. They could find something else. Talk about Jeopardy. You want to be in Jeopardy? Let's talk about that. So he meets with her parents, and I don't know if you remember. I think because I just rewatched season 9, her mom kind of looks like Keith's mom to me.
I don't remember what
Sorry, my
Keith's
bad.
mom looked like.
Yeah, my bad. And then we have yet another awkward conversation. My husband was in the room for this, and I couldn't even. He was like, "What is happening right now?" I said, "I don't know." He goes on and on about his faith, and his dad was just like, "Okay, so where do you stand? I don't believe in this. I don't believe in that." His dad is like,
Hold on.
"Okay."
You said he went on and on about his faith, or do you mean
His lack of faith.
his lack of? Yeah, see, because
His lack of
I
faith.
like the yeah, that was, I was very annoyed with the dad. Very annoyed. Um,
Why?
I don't want to hear it. Like, I wanted to know what her spiritual beliefs are. You've come here to set a standard as to what you think your daughter's husband's spiritual beliefs will should be. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, that's really up to her. And the fact that they were matched, I would hope that you're like, but you basically wanted someone whose Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. He ain't it.
Yes, but I'm not mad at him because I don't know, maybe I'm just used to it. When you're a certain generation, those are the things that are important to them. So they're just trying to figure out what is your faith level? Where are you going to be? And who is it that had to answer this question? It wasn't Miguel. Was it Miguel? Miguel and Lindy?
Yeah, yeah. It
And
was Miguel.
he kind of did the same thing.
And I didn't
But
like
I
it
think
then either.
yeah, theirs was worse. The mama was telling him don't have sex. So I don't know. Um, this was different because maybe that's why they included the whole groomsmen and the what they call a big vocabulary. And the dad was like, uh-huh, uh-huh. Clearly the dad had no clue what he was saying. And in the middle of him just going on and on, his dad is like, are you a true believer in God? That's all I'm asking. And then he goes, I'm agnostic. His dad said, what? He said, I'm agnostic. He said, okay, what? And then he starts going in about, I was raised, because the dad was like, so Catholic, Baptist, what denomination? He said, I was raised Catholic, but the schism of the Catholic Church and then breaking away because, which he got wrong, by the way. He was saying things just to sound smart, saying like, there were crusades and they broke away from the church just so King Henry could, get a divorce. But those are two separate things on
There's
why.
those are two separate schisms. I think the schism he was talking about is the Orthodox versus the Catholic schism. Um,
Yeah,
the fact that
but
we're even having this conversation is
yes,
a
that's
problem.
true. Yes, but I'm just like, sir, know your audience. They just want to know, like Aid said, do you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? And you're supposed to say, no, sir, but I would not stop her from expressing her faith, which again is another thing I want to know. What did she ask for, like you said? And if she asked for a man of faith, what are they doing?
What are the, I
What
was
are they doing?
this is the benefit of the doubt that I'm willing to give to experts, because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there is no possible way that she asked for like a good Christian man and they
Mm-hmm.
gave her this if they were trying to create some sort of successful thing. So I think that was my real issue, is I'm like, there's no way she asked for that, so I don't know why her dad is now holding him to some standard that his daughter did not ask for.
Man, I beg to differ. I think these people would do anything. It's like when Nick and Annie, and Nick said, you cannot make 1 plus 1 equal 3. And Annie said, watch me. I think the experts would take a risk on that. But I can't wait for this to unfold. But the thing is, he was going on and on about the Crusades and the gospel, and the dad just goes, "So, do you play dominoes? Because I don't,
He's like,
I don't
I'm
know what
looking
to
for
go."
a new. Now that I've realized we're not going to connect on that thing. Let me find something else to connect on, which was actually good of him. That was very good of him.
Her
Um,
mom looks horrified. She's like, "Oh Lord, my baby done gone to someone that's not saved." I felt so bad for her. I was like, "This
it's
is
not
not
even.
fair."
It's not even. Also, my daughter is with someone who is like not of the correct faith. But also a person who will sit there and start nattering on about the Crusades when you ask him about it. Like this is
Oh Lord, he just
instead
and
of
you
just
sound
clearly expressing his beliefs, they had to sort of dig for it. And in the meantime, he filled it up with like his
things
mind
they
is a
don't
real
care about.
interesting thing. A
Yeah.
real interesting thing. I'm telling you, I would love to talk to him.
He sounded like he was in an interview. And I'm just like, well, I mean, that first impression did not go well. There's no way to go around that. It didn't go well. So there's a moment where Brittany is so happy and she's like, "I'm married, catch the ring." And for those of you who watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, it reminded me of Belly's ring, which was barely visible. I was like, where is the ring? What is
It
the
was
ring
just a
you are
thin
showing us?
band. It was just a thin
Yes.
band, not an
Uh,
engagement ring. I was a little bit. This was a little red flaggy to me.
why?
Because along with the "oh, catch my ring, I'm married," that thing she said in her vows or something, where she's like, "Thank you for making me." Oh, it was after they for "thank you for making me a wife. I've always wanted to be a wife." I was
Hmm.
like, I don't like it.
Would rather have those
And
because they're open.
everybody in my family, we don't like no one's married. There's too many single, not too many. I don't know.
Yeah.
She phrased it a certain way about there being a lot of single women in her family, and I
Yeah.
was like, you just really want to be somebody's wife, like I
Uh,
mean, she said she wanted a partner in life, so she had legit, but yeah, red flag to me, big red flag.
okay. We shall see. She said she feels great. They are vibing, and even though there's instant chemistry, he's still a stranger. Whenever they say that, I'm like, that doesn't answer the question. Will you have sex with a stranger or not? We know he's a stranger. We know you have chemistry, but that doesn't answer the question. He's saying like she looks great, we have chemistry. His confessional, he was in a white shirt. That's when she went in to change in the bathroom. He was wearing a white shirt talking to the producers, but when he jumped into bed, he had a blue shirt. So I don't know what happened. But also these poor guys, they have so many candles to blow out. I mean, it looks nice aesthetically, but you have to be like blowing on all of them. So that was it for Brittany and Will. And what were your impressions? Your
Oh, they're
summary
doomed.
impression.
They're so doomed.
Oh my god.
They are so doomed. And granted, they did show us a preview that also made it look like they were doomed. But really, the moment when that man started talking about the Crusades, I was like, I don't know about this.
So
He's
my
really quite odd. And they are not vibing. She's not vibing with his oddness.
my impression is, similar to yours. He's super intense and there were just too many awkward moments for a wedding for an event that everyone usually says is their favorite time and they had so much fun. I just is the only way up from here? I don't know. But she's all right. I just don't know if she's attracted to him, if she's being honest about how she feels, you know?
I think even if she was physically attracted, I don't this man is just really not for everyone. He is very different. And I don't see her vibing with his vibe of different.
She might make it work
She might. She
somehow.
might.
She might.
Might.
Eight is like, nah, I don't know. It's not going to happen. All right, take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, we are back with Megan and Derek. Derek with two R's and a K. Just wanted to put that out there. She is 38, has been single for 7 years. Her work life balance is terrible. Of course, she's a realtor. And her work life balance is so terrible that she is paying good money for a life coach to find that balance. She gets an exercise shot. Her exercise is on a treadmill. She's running on that. They ask her pointedly, and I'm like, oh God, can you be with someone who makes less than you? And she goes, yeah, I can. I'm like, oh girl, they're going to play that iPad for you at some point during your journey. Derek is 38. He has been living overseas in so many countries. He is the COO or CEO of a health and wellness business, and I'm like, is this real? What is a health and wellness business?
Um,
His his exercise shot is push-ups and running.
I had to
We
think, what is a health and wellness business? I don't know.
You say that to me, and all I think is like some product on Instagram.
I'm
That's
correct.
that's
Protein bars, a new app for working out. There's always a new app for working out, for nutrition, for anyway, for
yeah,
optimizing your body. I assumed it was something like that.
yeah. It's like a vague thing. So we do get to see the hair and makeup people, and then they ask a question, and then something that I think is going to come up. I think her mom is the one. She works with her family. Megan is the one who has so many jobs and works with her family, and she's trying to get her own independence, which is why she started being a realtor. And she thought it was going to be like a side gig, and it became like it takes up a lot of her time, but she says she enjoys it. She said that she wants one kid, and if she does, she wants a boy, and that she finds motherhood surreal. So put this in your memory bank because I do believe this will come up, and I think we saw that in the preview. So he wants to be a dad for sure, was his exact words. Her mom has been trying to talk her out of getting married at first sight. She goes to sit in the stylist chair, and I'm like, why? Her hair is done. What are we doing? And she keeps going on about 50% of marriages end in divorces. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Um, Derek is hoping that they kiss at the altar. His boys are with him at the hotel room, and then they bring out wigs and say every time they go to a concert or something, they bring out a wig. It's like colorful wigs. And I'm like, oh no, I think Derek is a bro, like a frat bro. Did you
Uh,
get that?
but yeah,
Why do you sound like the wind has been knocked out of you?
I just I actually thought you were referring to her family because
Oh.
I think their energy matches at least.
Well, Megan gets a gift, and her gift is a ring box that says the adventure of a lifetime with the date of their wedding. She also sends him a gift, but her gift is an ice bath.
Oh,
I didn't think he was gonna do it immediately, but yeah, he strips down to his underwear and then he goes into the ice bath. Is that a good sign?
yeah, they're equally yoked in weirdness is always a good sign. Because if you sent me an ice bath, I would be like, I'm not getting married.
Or
It's like,
are you gonna be like his friend who says like, "Oh, is that what it's for? I thought it was for beers. You just put
uh,
ice and put beers inside."
this whole ice bath nonsense. I see athletes doing it. I'm just like, there are people who always have to push to the extremes when it comes to fitness. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad they have that in common because the rest of us don't want to be dipping ourselves in ice for what?
Does she do it?
She says 5 to 7 days a week or whatever she's doing an ice bath.
Oh, okay, nice. She comes out in her dress. I do like her dress. It is very well fitted on her, and she got it because it makes her boobs look good. And he's
Is
sitting with
that
his. Oh,
Is
go
that
ahead.
where they dropped the name of the bridal dress store? Because I guess they specifically mentioned the name of the bridal dress store, and I was like, I guess since we didn't go there and promotional consideration was provided, we have to mention the name of the store in this moment.
I missed it. I actually just looked at the end credits and looked at the promotional considerations, but I didn't. I missed them actually saying it. He's sitting with his bros, and someone just blurts out over under on sex. I'm like, okay. The wedding hasn't even happened. And she suddenly is trying to give an explanation as to why her dad is not there. She says her dad had to have skin cancer removed from his nose, so he's not there. Her brother is very private, so he's not going to be there. So she will be walking down the aisle by herself. So Derek walks up to the altar and he's just standing there and it's so awkward. He didn't say hi to anyone, but I give everyone grace for that moment because I can't imagine how nerve wracking that is. So he's standing there and Megan suddenly has a moment with her life coach. Just, her life coach is there saying, like, you manifested the life that you wanted. I want to be a life coach, Aid. I want to make money just telling people what they want to hear.
Eh, okay.
Because I mean, who was the person that got We got somebody that was paying somebody in the not the after the altar, the mass version of after this decision day. They went to the life coach to tell her what to do. Hell, was it Kirsten? Somebody did that, but I'm like, they're making money off of this. So he doesn't really have much of a reaction when she walks down the aisle, but he does tell her that she's beautiful.
Yes.
And for those who watch the challenge, she kind of looks like Ashley to me, Millionaire Mitchell. But let me know if you agree or not. They do their vows and they actually kiss. So we're 3 for 3. He gets his first solo confessional. He says he's blown away, that he thinks that she is beautiful. They talk about where they're from. He's from Maryland and she's from Louisiana. He thinks that she is 10 over 10. He just moved in September. These
Mm,
weddings happened in February 2024.
really?
Yes. I went to check the dates before I came on here. Yes. February 2020, because it kept saying it was cold and all that stuff. And she moved to Austin in 2019. I didn't like that she kept pulling up her dress in the chest area because it just always feels like you're uncomfortable and it's just distracting every single minute she kept pulling it up. But we find out that she loves country music. He doesn't. And she thinks that him liking EDM is questionable. And I'm just a country music fan judging an EDM lover. I don't know. It's just funny to me.
You're like, y'all are two sides of the same shitty coin. Ugh.
So, yeah. But they're dancing, everyone's having fun, and then we get a clip of her mom whispering to his mom, if they're still together 6 months from now, y'all come visit us. It's nice in some weird way. Like the few minutes I know of her mom, this is a compliment because it's factual. We don't know if it's gonna last, but if they do, come on down.
Ah,
Her mom goes to talk to him and is probing him. She's like, no nonsense. Like, I don't know what your intentions are. Like, there's more to just having a partner. But the thing is, my daughter is a grown up. I have no control and I don't like it. But I love your parents. But the thing is, when she says, I don't like it, we don't actually see her say it. So she must have said it for something else and they spliced it in
good
as if
catch.
she was
Good
saying it.
catch.
You taught me well. You taught me well. So Megan tears up when she's talking to her friends at the wedding and they're like, what's going on? She's like, she didn't expect to feel like this, that she feels like they're connected. And by the end of the wedding, she's not Sparkle Megan, but she did have some sparkle tennis shoes when she was leaving the wedding. And Derek is already talking about forever. He said, I could see her as my forever. And I admire that amount of optimism. Like knowing what the stats are, knowing that the wedding day is usually the best day, just thinking about forever is great. I mean, what else is there to do? They make it back to the room, and all of a sudden, Peacock starts giving us sex music. And then he's like, I have an idea. Let's take the bottle of champagne, take it to the other room, close the door, and just shut it. We see, I'm sure they must have told them to leave the door open just a little bit. We see him topless, unbuttoning her dress. And he says, as far as sex, he's pretty tired, but he can find energy for it. Megan is marveling at his abs because she's brushing her teeth or doing something and is like, did you see his fucking abs? Ladies and gentlemen, we ain't on Lifetime no more. We can use the F word. So the producer was like, were you expecting it? She's like, no, I wasn't expecting that. And the producer goes, are you ready for us to leave? She's like, yeah, we've been ready for you guys to leave. So that was it for them. Your first impression.
I feel like they switched. I wasn't sure about them. And then, once they got to bed and stuff and actually throughout the whole wedding reception,
Mm-hmm.
they seem to vibe. I was surprised by her whole like, I can't believe how good I feel. I was like, it's okay, but
Yeah.
it's not that good. Um
Yeah.
right now
I
they're
am
in the
I am with you. When she was crying, I thought she was gonna be like, I don't know, what have I gotten myself into? So I mean, I was happy that she was happy, but my first impression was like they both seemed so self-conscious and not relaxed. Like they just seemed not as tense as Will and Brittany, but they seemed a little tense. But they are definitely attracted to each other. They're an example of if you just let people be attracted to each other, let everything else flow. But also, her mom is going to be a central character, I feel, or they're setting her up to be one.
This is another mass. Lots of noise in the beginning. She's going back to Louisiana. Watch us never see her again.
Oh, that's true. She doesn't live in Austin. I think there'll be a higher chance if she actually lived close. Yeah, that's true. Okay, our final couple are Rhonda and Pat. We got another older couple in the mix. I mean, this was a good idea. This is a good idea by MAFS to add an older couple. I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but if you are going to cast an older couple, it should be Rhonda because Rhonda is 20. Real, for real. But her actual age is 63, and she says she's been looking for her person the last 25 years. And I just want to know if she applies for the Golden Bachelor because she said nothing's worked, nothing's happening, and she just seems the type that would just be like, why the heck not? And I want to know if she made it through the rounds but didn't make it to the final. She has been married twice before. She married the father of her children after 3 months. They had 4 kids. But the issue was he would never work. And I was like, I need the details. How do you just decide, like, I don't want to work? How do
Um,
you
when
just not work?
when someone else is paying bills and they are making things happen, you can sit there and be like, I'm not going to work. And what are they going to do? Stop working? Stop paying bills? They'll
That's
do what she
crazy.
did, eventually kick your ass out.
That's crazy. Her second marriage ended after 18 months. We did not get any explanations as to why that ended. So I don't know what happened with that. Pat, we meet Pat. Pat is 59. Pat gets an exercise shot, and his is biking. He was married for 30 years. He has 2 sons, and he said there was a point where he knew that he wanted out. And he didn't want to divorce until I think the kids were grown. He said that his marriage was not satisfying from a sexual standpoint and she just wasn't willing. I'm like, damn.
I think it's good to know where it went wrong before if you're going to try again.
Yeah, yeah. Rhonda, as soon as he says that, they switch over to Rhonda saying, I am looking for sex in a relationship. And I'm glad that they put that in because, sometimes at her age, they'll be like, oh, we're just looking for, they say this a lot on The Golden Bachelor, just companionship. And she's like, nah, I want that and I want sex in my relationship. So, and here we go again. The experts are together and they're saying, like, Rhonda would be good for Pat. He's more reserved and she's the one that could bring out the spunk in him. And, that's a pet peeve of ours on MAFS, where they always have the woman trying to bring out something.
A personality. That is not a woman's job to go find you a personality. You need to enter the relationship with one.
Yep. We get a background scene with her kids. Me thinking it's a background scene, but it's the day of her wedding, but it's not in the hotel. It's at her house. And apparently she does tarot card readings, and the one that she pulled out that day was soulmate. Then we hear Pat on the way to the wedding venue saying that, people my age don't want to commit because they're set in their ways and they like their life the way that it is. And I was like, oh, that sounded a little bleak. But I didn't know at that point why he only had his brother. But then his mom showed up and I was like, oh, okay. But I do think that it is a red flag that his kids allegedly could not make it.
I mean, they're in Phoenix. We don't know. I don't think it's. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a red flag. I would hope that we would meet them at some point during the next 8 weeks, but I don't think it's a red flag that you can't come to your dad's wedding that you probably didn't get much notice of and you don't live close.
Nobody gets no. I don't know. We'll see. But for me, it was a red flag. I was just like, they seem like adult kids. Now, if they're much younger, that's a whole different thing. But they seemed like they were adults, and I was like, why would you make the choice not to be there for your dad? So her kids are with her getting ready, and one of them says they're nervous, and Rhonda's like, "Oh, what are you nervous about? Speak your truth." And he's like, "Your intensity." And I'm like, "Oh God." And she's like, "He's like, it's true. You can be a lot sometimes, and you can be like my way or the highway." And she does give us some context about that, like raising 4 kids as a single parent. It's just things had to move in a certain way, and she just got really structured and can be a hard ass, her words used. And I could not tell if the father of her kids was Russian or if she's the one who has the Russian background because her kids are like Dmitry, Sasha, Nikolai. Those are Russian names, right? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yes. So maybe we'll get to learn more. So she comes out and she has three sons and one daughter. And I think her daughter is pretty quiet because her mom is loud enough for everybody and she just wants the opposite. um, she comes out in her wedding dress and she's not getting married in white. She is getting married in a red dress that I think looks absolutely fantastic on her.
I loved it. I loved
Yeah,
it. She's
it was
like, I
so her.
am 63 years old. I'm not wearing a white dress. And
She said,
the white dress is not indicative of any type of purity, but I do think it just says like I'm not a girl, I'm a woman, you know?
yeah, she's like, imagine if I came out in a white dress. Like, listen, I've lived many lives. Like, we are doing things my way. So, yeah, good for her. They get into a sprinter van and they're just drinking champagne. They are dancing and it just made me happy. I just loved it. Like, I just, loved seeing her. He says he's talking to his brother that at some point his divorce was going to crush him. I know my first thought was like, you want it out. You've been counting the days till you left. But then I remembered, like, just because you also initiate a breakup or know it's the right thing to do doesn't mean like it doesn't hurt,
Hmm.
you know? So that's probably what he meant. I did think it was cute though that they hadn't met, but he had a red tie.
Oh,
Yeah. So she walks down the aisle, her son walks her down the aisle, and as soon as they get there, they hug really tightly and then they compliment each other. Rhonda says that she is attracted at first sight and he is so fucking sexy. They say that they can kiss and they do kiss, and we are 444. He said that he notices her bubbly personality and that the red dress is an exclamation point on what he already knew. And he just keeps talking about how hot she is. I think he's so excited too. They go for their champagne chat and they talk about age. And he says that he's 59 and she goes, "Oh, I'm
eh,
older." And he's like, "How?" Because he definitely looks older than she does. And then he's like, "I don't care. Age is just a number." He talked about how he just moved to Austin from Phoenix a year and a half ago and is living with his mother. I don't know why he didn't say his mother is living with him.
are you sure that it's mm-mm.
What?
Cuz I didn't think that his mother was living with him. I like when I kind of she's going in full steam, but I was like, how you're like I am 63 years old. How am I dating a man who lives with his mother? How did I marry a man who
Exactly.
lives with his mother? And I don't yeah, he lives with his mother. I think his mother was here before he was in Austin. So yeah.
I
Ugh.
mean, I wrote down yikes because here's where it gets worse for me. He's like, I lost my dad, like it was unexpected. He was in an accident and then, I just came down, but we're trying to get things back on track. And then Rhonda is like, how long ago was this? And he said 3 years ago.
I'm like 3
And I'm
years?
like, yeah, it's not 6 months or a year. So what exactly is the situation? But to
If
be fair, oh,
if
go
I,
ahead. Go
if
ahead.
I was Rhonda at this moment, I am panicking a little because I am like, hold on, am I signing up to be a caretaker?
Mm. But okay, so this is what I was gonna say. I don't want her to panic because honestly, I gave so much shit to Michelle when she was panicking about David last season. But if he was single, right? His mom lost his dad and she's older, she's 93. And you're like, you know what? I could just stay with her, keep her company cheaper than putting her in a home. But now that I'm married, what is the plan? I think is the next question Rhonda should ask. Because I get it. Like, you don't want your mom to be lonely, right?
I totally understand you don't want your mom to be lonely, but I don't I also don't want to be a caretaker for someone I didn't sign up to be a caretaker for.
Understood. That's why I'm saying like her next question would be, so what's the plan? Because it worked when you were single, but now that you're gonna have someone in your life, what is the plan? And he should have thought of that before he signed up for Married at First Sight. So I'm curious to see what during their honeymoon, because I can't assume that she's not gonna ask that question. And I think she kind of panicked a little, but she was like, you know what? It's my wedding day. I'm gonna have fun. We're gonna deal with this afterwards. So we're gonna come back to this for sure. But I felt like theirs was a download. He dropped a lot of stuff.
He
Like,
did, and
uh oh, you're not feeling good?
Keep going, keep going.
Okay. She's doing her confessional and she's like, I have a confession. And she's like, I cannot remember his name. I don't know what his name is. I don't know what what is it? Paul? No. Okay, sorry. She's allowed. She's 63.
I was like, I don't remember his name either.
You're not allowed. You're not 63. So they get to the reception, and this lady has taken off her shoes. She is dancing and prancing around. And her daughter is like, oh my God, is he going to be embarrassed? But you know what? He takes off his jacket, he takes off his shoes as well, and then he joins her, and then he tries to keep up with her. And honestly, I thought that was the cutest thing ever because he could easily have been embarrassed and been like, oh, this woman is too much for me. But he's like, what the hell? And then he joins her. The next thing we see is they're by the pool. It is cold, according to them, and they're wrapped in towels and they're having like a nice smooch by the pool. It's a pretty lengthy one. And then she tells him, I have a proposition. I'm like, oh, Lord, what is she going to say? And he's like, I think that we should jump into the pool. And then he's like, okay. And then the hot tub after. And she's like, oh my God, this is the best. She is putting him on a pedestal. I think that's where I'm worried about. But they jump in fully clothed and they jump into the pool and they have a good time. And she says like he's perfect and she hopes that she doesn't disappoint him. And that's how the first two episodes end. And ma'am, your impression of them.
Oh God, so many. So like from the ceremony, I felt like he was being way too touchy. But
Oh.
then I was like, no, I think they're just mutually being very, very touchy. Like
Mm-hmm.
they hugged a lot, they touched a lot. I thought it was too much. But I'm
Oh.
like, if you guys are okay with it, I guess it's good.
Yeah.
Um uh he told her children, I'm a lover. I was like, what did this
I'm a lover boy. Like I'm romantic. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, there's a constant refrain in my mind while I'm watching the two of them. It's from Clueless. Old people are so cute. Um They are very cute, and they have I he is at this point very into her energy. But the fact that she kept on telling us, he said, "I'm semi-retired." She kept on saying, "I left my first husband because he didn't work."
Oh no.
My antenna is up. I live with my
Oh
mother.
no.
My antenna is up. I don't, I've never dealt with an elderly parent. I'm like, what could you guys not get done in 3 years that either she needs help for forever or we're on a path to getting her to independence. And I don't know if what you just said is the truth about the path we're going on with your mom.
Yeah. Oh no. You have just put a damper in everything.
Also, like these two are so horny. Like
Yes.
I'm like, it's been a while for both of you, hasn't it? Because your guys are just like, I just want some sex.
Well, we don't know if it is because the way they keep going on about it. But yes, I agree with everything that you said. I think like he's being vague. We need something spelled out and let's know exactly what it is and what the plan is. And you know how I feel. I think you should have had a plan before you signed up for MAFS. Like don't try to figure it out while you're married now and you're trying to start a new relationship with someone and you have your mom there. You're not going to throw her out, so now you put that person in that situation. But then he has a
Yeah, you
brother.
can't throw someone out of their own house. I'm convinced that it's her house.
Yeah,
I am
that's true. Yeah,
convinced that it.
he did say I'm living with my mother, so yes. But his brother is around, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want to see what's gonna happen with this. But like I said earlier, I don't like the way she's putting him on a pedestal. Her saying she's gonna disappoint him. He is not perfect by any means. I'm happy for her that she's attracted to him because I just like, why is he so sweaty? Like he just looks sweaty. But they said it was cold. She is going to be a lot, and like I said earlier, I think that his kids not being here is not a good sign. But we shall see what the thing is going to happen with them. They are also very physical, so I don't know if they're going to rely on that physicality, and it might be surface.
I I think that physicality is going to take them only so far.
Hmm. Hmm. So okay, that was it. And as usual, the tradition here, Aid, who gets your bouquet?
Okay, I'm gonna give my bouquet to Jalen and Josh. Because I forgot. Well, because I just felt such positive energy from them,
Hmm.
and they were so happy with each other, and I just feel like they put their best foot forward. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
who's yours?
I'm the same. Jalen and Josh. It was just more Jalen. Jalen 80% and Josh 20%. She just made me happy. I just liked her personality and I just liked the way that they vibed with each other, you know? It was great. Who has your ashes?
Who has my ashes? Oh yeah, Brittany's dad. For this interrogation about faith, I don't care for it.
Okay. I think I want to give my ashes to Will. I just did not appreciate his energy and did not appreciate him not reading the room and even trying because if nothing else, you can never have another first impression. So going on and on about the Crusades when clearly these people were looking for a saved man, that was not the way to go about it. Okay, any last thoughts, last words?
I cannot believe that my first thought was, oh, I gotta watch the other two episodes. Like, I want to watch MAFS again. It's crazy. Good job, Peacock. Good job, Kinetic. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this season. I actually can't wait to watch.
Yeah, because the incentive is also like it's not going to be a slug. You look at it and you're like, oh, just 53 minutes, I can do that. But when you think you have to do 2 hours, you're like, eh. So, you know. Well, Aid, always a pleasure having you here. I hope I get to talk to you again
Of
through
course.
the season. And guys, you know where to find me. It is AltaCall MAFS on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, or X as it's called now, Blue Sky and Threads. If you want to send me an email, just add at gmail.com. If you have any comments or any questions about the episode, I will also include that in the Maps Extra episodes that will be on the bonus episode. Please give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and stay subscribed for the next two drops. I will have two more episodes for the remaining of the 4 episodes that dropped. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.